guys? Welcome back to Solorio Eats. It's Sunday, so that means a new food video. So today I'll be showing you guys how to make, a nice properly cooked steak. We're gonna be making New York strips. And I'm also gonna show you guys how to make a nice chimichurri to go with your New York strip. If you guys are not familiar with chimichurri, it comes from the country of Argentina. It's very zesty, a lot of herbs, garlic, it's great to lather on your steak. So this is definitely something you want to make, if you're having, your girlfriend or your boyfriend over, you want to make a nice romantic dinner. This is the perfect way to go. You're not spending a lot of money. You're going to save yourself money, and that other person, they're going to be like, damn, where the hell did this come from? You really know how to cook. So we're just gonna get into it, and I'll show you guys how to make all this. All right, so before we can even get into searing the steak, this nice thick cut New York strip, we need to make our chimichurri.
All right, let's talk chimichurri sauce. So this is everything we're gonna need for our sauce. All right, so we're gonna need fresh cilantro, fresh parsley, fresh oregano. It's cool if you can't find any fresh oregano. You can use the dried stuff. It's better to use the fresh stuff though. We're also gonna need 1 shallot, 7 garlic cloves. So it's gonna be a little garlicky. And then we're gonna need a little bit of crushed red pepper. So it's gonna come with a little bit of that heat, And then we're gonna need a little pop to this sauce. So we're gonna be adding red wine vinegar. And to help emulsify our sauce a little bit, we're going to use a little bit of olive oil. So we have to take off the bitter ends off the garlic cloves, the root end. We got to get rid of these. So let's start chopping away at these things. Now that we've got the garlic clove roots cut off, now it's time to start smashing these bad boys. All right. By smashing them, we're going to release a lot of those oils out of the garlic, and that's what we want. We want the garlic to really permeate the sauce. And then we're just gonna take it and we're gonna start mincing it up. We want to get this as fine as possible. The more surface area, the more oil out, right? So we're gonna start by tossing our garlic right into our bowl once we're done mincing it. All right, now that we have the garlic minced and in the bowl, now it's time to take care of garlic's cousin, Ms. Shallot. All right, so we're gonna peel it, and then we're gonna cut it in half. After we have it cut in half, then we're gonna cut planks, and then you want to cut lengthwise into strips. So we can start mincing this bad boy. Once we got it nice and minced, we're gonna start throwing this in along with the garlic. All right, now it's time to start mincing our herbs. So we're gonna start with our parsley. We're gonna start picking all the leaves off the parsley bunch. Once we get all of our leaves picked off, we're gonna start mincing this thing. Make sure you don't get any stems in there. You don't wanna be getting a piece of the stem stuck in your tooth when you're enjoying your chimichurri, all right? So no stems, just leaves. So anytime you chop herbs, you want to make sure you have a sharp knife. If not, you're going to bruise your herbs, and that's going to lead to an ugly sauce. All right, it's going to be purple and brown. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants a brown, purple chimichurri. So make sure you have a sharp knife. Once we get it nice and minced, we want to have it a little bit small, but not too small, where you don't get any texture. All right, that's enough chopping and mincing. Let's just have the oregano and the cilantro chop itself. Let's do a little magic. Man, I wish I could do that every time. Now it's time to whip this bad boy up. Time to get this chimichurri going. Now we got our shallots, our garlic right in the bowl. Now it's time to add a little bit of that red wine vinegar. We're gonna add about 2 tablespoons to this thing. All right, let it drip. We're gonna add 2 heaping teaspoons of that crushed red pepper. All right, it's gonna come with that heat. All right, we're gonna whisk it up a little bit, and then we're gonna start slowly adding our olive oil. Make sure you have a nice olive oil that you guys can use. This thing is not gonna be fully emulsified. It's gonna be a little broken, so that's fine. We kind of just want everything to come together a little bit. All right, keep on adding that olive oil into the bowl. We're gonna add a cup's worth to this thing, so it's 8 ounces. So keep on adding nice and slow and whisking. Once we have all of our oil into the bowl, we're gonna start seasoning this thing. So we're gonna hit it with that kosher salt, not your granny salt, kosher salt, and a little bit of that BP black pepper. Now that it's seasoned, now it's time to throw in all of our not brown, not purple, but ripping green herbs. All right, with that sharp knife that we used. All right, so just start pouring all your herbs in there. We're gonna slowly toss these guys in here and let it become one with the chimichurri sauce. Little by little. It's gonna be a little broken, but that's fine. It's not gonna be emulsified. A chimichurri is not gonna be emulsified all the way. All right, so let's talk about searing our steak. But before we get to that point, let's talk about seasoning. I'm definitely gonna use, that kosher salt, but I'm definitely gonna need a thicker grind on my black peppercorns. So I'm gonna use my spice grinder or a coffee grinder, whatever you wanna call it. I'm gonna chuck my peppercorns in there and I'm just gonna let this thing rip. I want it a little bit coarse. I want to have a little bit of that mouthfeel on the steak. It's gonna make it more peppery and it's gonna make it a little bit more intense. So this is what we're looking for when we're picking out a nice New York strip. You want to have that nice fat cap on the outside, but not too thick. And then you want to have, that nice marbling throughout. I let this thing sit out for about half an hour. So it's gonna help us cook this steak nice and evenly. We don't want it rock solid out of the fridge. We're gonna start by seasoning our New York strip with a little bit of that kosher salt and that black pepper. And you want to season this thing kind of heavy. It's a thicker cut of meat. So you want that black pepper and that kosher salt to really, get into this thing. You don't want to go, you don't want to be scared about seasoning this thing. You really want to go liberally. You see how much is on here, right? That's how much you're going to need to impart as much flavor into this thing. So we got to slap this steak with as much flavor as possible. So we've seasoned it. Now it's time to talk about basting. So we're gonna need, a whole garlic bulb that we're gonna cut in half. Then we're gonna take a shallot that we're also gonna cut in half, and fresh thyme. That's what's gonna take it from just a simple steak and just take it to the whole another level. And to me, that's what makes an awesome, amazing steak. Now it's time to add canola oil to our cast iron pan, and we're gonna crank this bad boy up to almost smoking point. After it's almost coming to a smoke point, we're gonna add our New York strip right into the oil. You want to hear that sizzle when it hits the pan. That's what's gonna let you know that it's hot enough to get that steak nice and caramelized and get that Maillard effect, to release all those sweet notes in the steak as it sears. All right, now that we have our steak nice and caramelized, golden brown on one side, it's time to add the shallot and the garlic. And your thyme, don't forget the thyme. We want to caramelize the shallot and the garlic. We want those oils to come into the pan. So when we do baste it, we get all that flavor into our steak. It's time to hit it with that butter. Make sure you throw in a nice heaping amount in there. A nice little heaping amount of unsalted butter. We're just gonna let our butter melt and get nice and golden brown in our pan. Now that the butter's nice and golden brown, it's time for the best part. It's time to baste this thing.
You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a f, that's what they don't understand. Back again like flu season, I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving, don't give a f, I don't care. Did the by my lonesome, no wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run, all I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my totem is nothing. In the discussion, all them feelings, I throw all my pain on percussion. It's disgusting, I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you almost spotted the feast. I've been on cold mode, show mode.
Man, this smells so great. I can't wait to dig into this. So we've made our seared New York strip that we basted along with the chimichurri. Last thing to do is just to try this thing. I think this thing is really gonna slap. It just smells great. So let's just dig in. But if you can see, all those oils, all of that vinegar and the oil, it's kind of like a broken vinaigrette, but it kind of just coats the whole steak. kind of seeps into the sliced steak itself. But this thing is just great. So I really enjoyed making this New York strip for you guys, along with the chimichurri. You know, it's very simple for you guys to make at home. You guys can make it, you know, on that special date. And if you guys want to keep following along on Solorio Eats, make sure you guys hit that bell icon. And every Sunday at noon, a new video will drop. So thank you guys. Love you guys.
Go.